I'm Mubin Minimizing. I have an MA in English with applied linguistics, plus a postgraduate certificate in the teaching of English, plus an MPhil and a PhD. And I have been in the classroom English as a foreign language for over 20 years. Today, we'll be talking about minimizing the gap between expectations and reality in the EFL classroom. When I say, is it audible or should I use the mic? Is it better?
That's better.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. So, when I say minimizing the gap, obviously we all understand that minimizing is achievable and bridging is slightly a far-fetched idea. When we talk about expectations, we are referring to the expectations of different institutions, schools that teach English as a foreign language. Some may take a different view about English as a foreign language. Some may consider in Saudi Arabia English as a second language. Well, that's a different topic, and that'll take like an hour in itself. So here we go. The first thing is that when we talk about challenges, obstacles, problems that we as teachers face day to day in our classroom, what kind of difficulties and problems do you face? I would like you to work in a group of three, wherever you are three, wherever you are four or two. Just think about the problems that you face, like two problems. You can give two reasons each, like recommendations also, why the problems are there and how you can overcome those issues. So I give you 2 minutes, please, to discuss with your partners.
Students not doing the homework. Because language is culture part.
To make them, to bring them into real issues, real field of teaching. What are the solutions?
Do you mean the private schools? They accept students who just don't have any background. That's a very, very big problem. Then what is the solution?
And what? The moment
at the same time of teaching use the same class. So I have English for example, I have a very good for
Thank you very much. Can we have at least one person from each group? So that could you please
Actually, we're talking about the difficulties that students face simply because when you teach a language, you're teaching a whole culture and you have to know where to start and how to deal with it. Besides, since it is being taught as English as a foreign language, not even as a second language, as you said, and there's a big difference.
Right.
So students are using it only in the classroom. And Mrs. Oda suggested that in this case, you need to sometimes differentiate different groups, put them in different groups and start working with them based on certain needs so that you promote the whole level gradually.
Very good. Very good suggestion. From here, anybody?
Excuse me, sir. I just want to make an announcement. Just a minute. Dr. Ayman has arranged a campus tour, so if anyone is interested, you can just go into the main area at 2:30. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, please. Do you want to use mic?
No,
Okay.
one of the problems we face mixed ability classes with after the placement test.
Mixed ability classes.
Yes,
Okay.
mixed ability.
Even after giving them a
Placement
placement
test.
test.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
For me,
Switching over
I
to the L1 students so that
very similar abilities in
Right.
I don't
Right.
list the very high or good ones with very good ones.
That's right.
But sometimes it works.
It works. Huh? Thank you very much. Anybody else would like to share their opinion? Yes, anybody? Okay. Yes, yes, please. We want to listen so that we can work on that in a better way.
Intensive course, so
Right.
have an 8-week intensive course, so sometimes finishing the syllabus that I call.
Very intensive course, curricula,
So it's a lot of material in a short time.
lot of material, and that has to be covered in a very short span of time. Very important point, right?
One problem is the use of language 1, L1, in teaching L2.
Use of L1 in teaching L2. Okay, you find it as a problem.
Yeah.
So like some teachers are using L1 or what's happening? Students are using L1.
No, they give books of grade 2 to students in grade 1. They say they're upgrading the subject. I don't know why.
I see.
Isn't this what you
And the students want to use Arabic language in teaching.
Students, they want to use Arabic in the classroom, and that is challenging. Okay, okay. Very valid point. Thank you very much. This is roughly what I intend to cover in this presentation. Some of these issues you have already pointed out, and we'll be going in detail and then trying to find appropriate solution. Mismatch was already mentioned by
Yes, there is much.
yes, and curriculum was mentioned by this group. And use actually will be use of L1. We can cover it in pacing guide material, right? And yes, the environment, learner's environment, how it changes
mentioned by
from
Mr. Khalid actually?
yes, how it changes from their school, their high school, to when they come to the university or in higher education. Well, my presentation is focused on real problems and practical solutions. That's why I intend not to quote so many international linguists, their opinion and their criticism and their age, and then we are here, right? So the purpose of this presentation is to find solutions or minimize the gap, as the title suggests, right? So we'll focus on that, and this may help some of our friends to see their students' progress in a better way, inshallah. And obviously, for all this, the credit goes to my students because I have learned a lot from them in these last 20 years, their input. And obviously, they are the center of the learning process. And obviously, my colleagues who and we all talk to each other in seminars, in coffee shops, outside the classrooms. So the credit goes to them. And overall, the purpose of the whole exercise today is to find solutions so that we can make our student autonomous learner, disciplined, autonomous learners. Now, these are some of the factors, some of the important factors that influence the rate of progress of students. Are students coming from Arabic background, right? And as brother mentioned, that a lot of language, like Arabic language is used. One thing which has been recognized, and there are researches, studies done that prove that fluency and literacy in L1 is also important in order to learn a second language or a foreign language. It has also to deal with the learning style that these students have in their school, and when they move to the university or other vocational institutes, what kind of change they find in the overall environment and the learning process. Obviously, nobody can disagree with L1 interference. At times it supports, right? And the overall language learning experience. At times, we as teachers forget that youngsters are youngsters, right? Sometimes they are influenced by us, at times we repel them. And we all have gone through our schooling and we have noticed that if you like a particular teacher, you know, there are some biases, obviously I would say, but if you like a particular teacher, you end up liking his or her subject also. But if you don't like a teacher in your elementary school or in your junior high or high, then you're not going to pursue your studies. You just say that let me go through this whole process and then I'll be done once I'm out of the school. Exposure is very important in learning the language. As brother has mentioned, as pointed out by him, that our students are there in the class. How much target language are they, exposed to once they step out of the classroom? Are social conditions yet ready to give them what they need outside the classroom? Culture and other issues also come in the picture when we talk. At times you ask your student and you say, do you practice English outside the class? You know that they are good, they are quite fluent. Some of the students are. They say, no teacher, we don't. And you ask the reason, they say, oh, we know Arabic. Arabic is our language, he's our friend, why do we talk in English, right? So maybe they do not have enough friends who do not talk their language, right? So exposure is very important, and personality traits, attitude towards learning, overall learning, not only language. So these are the factors. I have adapted it from English language learning process. The reference of this would be there in the end. Now, coming to the main thing, issues and recommendations. The most important issue in our EFL classroom is our students' level of motivation. Do you agree?
Yes.
Sure.
Do you agree? Wherever you bring the teachers from, howsoever competent they are, irrespective of how many professional development courses they have attended, right? And in observation, they have ranked 5, 5, 5 on a scale of 5, but still, there are problems. Students do not perform as is expected of them. And the main reason is the lack of motivation. They are demotivated. So we'll talk about the reasons. Why are they demotivated? What are different factors that lead to this kind of demotivation amongst our learners? And obviously, if we are able to overcome that, we can make our classroom relevant, we can make our teaching relevant. Well, this is for you. Take a minute and just discuss with your partner two main reasons of demotivation and only one solution for each.
Why the subject is important. And they don't see a future that utilizes their language level. If they were able to see a future where they would utilize English, then probably their desire to learn a new language would be much more, and they would motivate themselves. So I think they don't see
Okay, so ideas. Could you please share your ideas?
Well, I think they are demotivated because they don't see the future, the use of the language in the
The use
future.
of the language.
So once they are
Okay.
able to see that, probably they will put in more effort to learn that language.
That's right. Very good point. Very valid point. Solution. Yes, very valid point. Solution.
Solution? In the
Yes.
first place, the teacher has to set high expectations for the students, tell them why this language is very important, why it's very important to actually express yourself very well and very clearly. And then we start with the extrinsic motivation so that we reach the intrinsic motivation.
That's right. That's right. So,
Can I give a solution to her problem? Can I give a solution to her issue?
yeah.
To the reason. She said the reason, but she didn't say a solution.
Could you please suggest a solution?
She is going to suggest a solution.
She has a solution.
Oh,
Another solution.
She has a
Yes.
solution.
okay, please. Do you need mine?
Yes, teaching ESP. No.
Yeah.
We used to teach, actually we used to teach ESP. We used to teach students English, general English, and then English for the specialty students is going to specialize in later in the
Right.
university.
ESP.
And they were really motivated.
Right.
Once we stopped the ESP,
Right.
we taught
Came to
them
general English,
Yes,
okay.
that's why they became demotivated again. Before we used to tell them, you're going to use this in your study, you're going to use this. You can use Islamic studies, science. But once we stopped the credit,
Very valid point. Yeah.
So this
yeah.
was one of the problems.
That's right, because I had the opportunity of teaching in two medical colleges. One here, the first year I came in 2007 for a year, and then I taught in Al-Hassa for a year in King Faisal University, medical students. They were highly motivated because they were taught ESP
Yes.
and medical terminology,
Yeah,
right?
they knew the-
So they learned medical terminology through English.
Yes.
Before their anatomy or physiology teacher would talk about these things. So very important point. Yes, any other suggestion, any other reason for demotivation?
They hate the language.
We have to make them love the language.
No, this is what they say. This is their confession.
I see, I
Don't
see.
you think the teacher and the parents both should be equally involved?
That's very important point.
Most of the time here we are, motivating them and the
And once they are out,
once they're out, nothing happens.
Nothing
And when
happens.
at the time when we need to face their parents, oh, why is my child not Albert Einstein?
oh yeah, but they have to work for that
That's
too.
right.
Yeah, so as teachers,
It's
wherever
a
we
group
have
effort, not
Yeah.
just the teacher.
Yeah, wherever we have, approach to parents, we should mention this. We should seize the opportunity.
Very important.
Hey,
We
look,
do. They blame the
we
teacher.
have to.
They blame the teacher.
Oh,
That's what
really?
I'm saying. They do blame.
Yeah, because the child is there most of the time at home.
At school.
He or she is with us maybe 3-4 hours in a language class, right?
Excuse me?
Yes, please.
Concerning the reasons.
Yeah, please.
Most of the students, in fact, live with a stereotype idea about English that it's difficult and cannot be
Right.
learned because of lack of facilities.
That's
that
right.
motivates students, especially those who live in, villages far from big cities.
Right, right. So they do not have enough exposure. Very important point, and they hate the language, right? As was pointed out. So we have to find solutions, right? how can we make it, better, the overall scenario, attractive. The reason, as was pointed out by one of our friends here, a mismatch between the learners perceived as you level through placement test and their actual level. This is one of the most important reasons for demotivation. Right? You end up, yes, and the teacher suffers, the students.
Most of our aim is on finishing the curriculum.
Yes, that's right.
It should
That's
be
right.
quality, not
It should
quantity.
be.
These days it's
That's
just a
right.
business.
We'll come to this. For sure we'll come to this. This is very, very important point. So you have level 1 student and level 3 class at times, where level 3 means intermediate level, level 1 is like a beginner's level, right?
Yeah.
Do you get some students in your level 3
we
class who actually belong to level 1?
Yes.
I have in level 1 students who don't even know ABC.
ABC. Okay.
No, but I'm teaching level 3 this semester, and
Yes.
half of the class is level 1.
Oh yeah, true. Same is the case with me. I'm teaching level 3, but this time my class is slightly better, so I'm lucky in that sense. But I have had students where like half of them were below level. Yes, please.
Now, I have taught most levels, but I've discovered that the higher the level, the less motivated the students are.
Yes, that's very, very, very true. And this is because of the fact that at times our exams are not valid. I'm sorry to say. A student who has not mastered whatever was there in the course, whatever was there in the curricula, and is moved to another level, right? So once, he was not fluent or capable enough of doing things which were there for him at level 1, and you move him to level 2, you are not doing a favor on him. On the contrary, you are putting him under tremendous pressure when he moves to level 2 class. And that is the reason, because at times even admin are bound by certain rules and regulations where they cannot test beyond a certain percentage in like open-end questions form. They have to have multiple choice, right? And we as teachers know that multiple choice questions are not always good for testing language, right? At times, they are placed in the wrong way. At times, they move where they should not have moved. And it is, in a way, I would say it is better for a student to repeat level 1 than to be in level 1, level 2, and repeat level 2. Because in the test, he'll have level 2 material. If he is moved to level 3, then the problem is that he has to be tested by the end of the course of a material which is far beyond him, right? So there's no point teaching level 3 stuff to a guy who does not understand level 1 stuff, right? So we'll be talking about that. The most, tested solution for a condition like this is differentiated learning. Though it is old, it's not very recent, but you can always tweak, right? As teachers, we don't have to take any theory, any methodology and apply in our classroom. We have to tweak that particular methodology to suit our purpose. And in our environment, tweaking is the need of the hour. And they talk about, Tomlinson, talks about you can bring variation through content. Some of them could be challenged at the level of knowledge, maybe at the level of comprehension. Others who are better than them, they can be challenged at the level of maybe evaluation. Some may be asked to synthesize, right? You can have that Bloom's taxonomy, right?
Yeah.
On that, you can do scaffolding. You can also do differentiation at the level of process, right? Maybe some are better learners when you give them audio-visual aid. Others are good at listening. Others are good at reading.